Welcome to the Select Board meeting of Tuesday, September 16th. Let's do a quick roll call. Actually, we have all members present and accounted for. As a programming note, this is an in-person only meeting.
That was me.
All I find it, as I used to say.
Just running through the agenda, we're going to open with community input as per always. Then at 8:05 or immediately thereafter, we're going to do request to terminate nuisance dog order. And then there's a placeholder for liaison reports. Depending on how things go, we don't necessarily need to do that. That was originally envisioned as a wild card if we had had two hearings.
Daily double.
Yeah, so with that, let me open it up to community input. Does anybody in the room have any input they want to provide the select board? You.
You'll read about mine.
Seeing none, we'll move it over to the request to terminate nuisance dog order. And for this portion of the agenda, Barney Arnold will be conducting the hearing.
Thank you. So may I have a motion to open the hearing to consider terminating the nuisance dog order that we issued in November 2021
So moved.
regarding Dexter, the Topol's dog.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Great. So welcome. So what I should do first, then I'll ask you for your comments about the restrictions and why you'd like us to do this. But first of all, if you're both going to say things, then I should swear in both of you. And you can do it together. And you would just say aye and then your name, swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth. I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, period. So you can just do it together.
Okay. I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Perfect.
My name is Maura Topol.
My name
Right.
is Joseph Topol.
Thank you very much. The nuisance dog order that we ordered in November of 2021, there were 4 restrictions, and I'll just read them so we all, and you may have it in front of you from the note I sent, but so first was that the dog owners would maintain and make repairs to the existing chain link fence and its reinforcements as described during the hearing. Specifically, the dog owners shall maintain the chain link fence in good repair with rebar installed, affixing it to the ground, and a bottom rail installed around the entire fence. The gates will be securely latched at all times. Should we go one by one and let you all comment? Maybe that makes sense? Okay. Yeah, so tell us where you are with Dexter and your fencing situation.
0 issues. We did do the rebar, which it goes into the ground, so he's not going under that. He doesn't even go near the fence anymore. He's 8 now, so he's older.
And he wears a collar.
Anyways, we have him on a collar anyways, but he doesn't go near the fence. He stays within the perimeter of the yard, so that's really it. You know, the fence is maintained. It's a chain link fence. The gate's closed and strapped, and
Yeah, we also have it, yeah.
yeah, it was strapped around as well as closed and secured, so 0 issues with the fence. It's been 4+ years.
Yeah.
He hasn't got out once. And we walk him every day in the neighborhood, so all
Yeah.
of you
Yes.
guys know him as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we walk them probably once or twice a day for 4 years. That's over 1,500 times in the neighborhood with the kids out, other dogs,
Yeah.
0 issues.
And are you walking him, is he walking freely with you or
No,
on a
we
leash?
have
always
both-
leash
We have
them.
2 dogs, they're both leashed.
Yeah,
at
we
all
have 2
times.
dogs. They live, you know, they cohabitate, so we walk them together, but
Yeah.
they're always on leashes.
Great. Anybody have a question about the fencing?
You said not the fencing, no.
Okay. And then the second restriction was that the dog owner shall maintain an electric fence and an electric collar for Dexter in addition to the chain link fence.
Yeah, he wears it. We put it on him every day when he goes out, even though, because he's still a dog, so.
Yeah.
My other dog, I could leave him roaming the yard, he'd go nowhere. And I don't know now with Dexter, because now, like I said, he's 8, but he doesn't go in the front yard. So he does wear the collar. It's one of those, it's a mobile one, so it's a perimeter around the yard.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what keeps him away from the fence. So
Zaps him.
yeah, he doesn't go near the fence because of that. But even if I have it off of him, he still doesn't go near the fence because he thinks it's on. But he
Right.
does what I do, he does wear it.
Any questions on that one? Okay. And then the third one is Dexter shall undergo training, including completing a 2-week program, and the dog owners will seek further training as necessary.
So we did in-house training with him, because we had already gone through training with him up to that point, and I didn't really like the training we were doing. It was with one of those collars with the buttons. So we kind of stopped that, and we went back to the food training. So he's behaved. He doesn't do anything. So he's well behaved. He doesn't really do much of anything. So I would say that it was completed.
In retrospect, going back to when those incidents occurred, was there anything in particular? Was it just young dog? Do you have any perspective now,
Yeah.
looking back after doing the training and?
Yeah, I can tell you that he was younger. So he was a rescue, and we had him about a year or so when the first incident happened, and then it was another year. But the other two dogs, what I surmised happened, and I didn't see it either times, but knowing my dog, the other neighbor had 2 dogs, and they were big black labs, and he used to walk them off leash. And they used to come on my property, and I've had a problem many times he walked by, but the 1 or 2 times that it did happen, I think he charged the other dogs, and the dogs didn't like it, and they fought. That's what I think happened. And I don't know that for sure, but I know that the owner, my neighbor, had a bite in his hand, but it came out in the hearing that he put his hand in the dog's mouth and tried to open it, and that's how he got his hand bitten. So he's never bitten anybody.
But the training you did was to,
More or less to listen. Food, sit, come, sit, walk, that type of training. That's
Okay.
really,
Yeah, just to reinforce.
yeah.
And-
He never, he's around my sons, all my friends. He's never been an issue.
And all the dogs
Zero.
in our neighborhood.
Yeah, and the dogs in our
And-
neighborhood, so he's never been an issue.
And our neighbor has since moved 3 years ago that we did have the issue with, and we haven't had an issue with anybody else.
So, yeah, so Mr. Neal left about a year after the,
Yeah, a little.
Order.
Yeah, or a
Okay.
little less. Like, it
Okay.
was November that we.
Yeah.
In December, he left in August, so it's been
Okay.
a little, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been quite a while. It's been almost
yeah.
about 4 years since more than 4 years since the incident,
Yeah,
and just about 4 years since we had the hearing.
yeah.
And so I think what I'm hearing you say is that since the hearing, this initial hearing, you've not had him, he's not tried to, approach another dog when you have him out, or,
No.
Well, we have friends in the neighborhood who have dogs, and we don't, for that reason, we don't bring them out to meet the other dogs, but we do have one person that's in the neighborhood that has a smaller
The
dog, and
Quinlans
they
have
get
a
along
dog.
really well, so
Yeah.
he'll go up to them and it's a small dog, and they're friendly with
Yeah,
the
we
dogs.
just.
But other than that,
don't
we
want
just
any
don't want any issues,
so
so we
we turn
just-
around or.
I
but
see.
We do, we walk by the Sibleys with their dog, they have a dog. We
Mhm.
walk by people and we've never had, it was that one and only time.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think happened. I think he charged them, the other dogs didn't like it, and they're animals, so I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions on
And
that?
neither dogs had any issues, like, our neighbor thought it was like a bite on the dogs, but at the time, like, they were brought to the vets and there was no bites on any of the dogs, so Dexter technically didn't really hurt it.
They were superficial
Yeah.
marks on them.
Yeah, so,
Hmm.
but we took it very seriously, and he's, we are very careful with him, so,
With both of them.
Yeah,
Even though
with
the other
both- yeah,
ones-
with both.
We've had him since he was a puppy, but he's been.
Mm-hmm. Any other comments on that one? No? Questions? Okay. And go ahead,
I mean, just the
Christine.
training seems a little, I don't know, a 2-week program and then kind of on your own, sort of, I'll call it self-study. Does he have like really good recall, or,
No, they don't have good recall. Neither one of them, they come for food. But they never leave the yard and they're never off leash. So
Okay.
recall's not an issue.
so the training is not really so much, it's just you're talking about the physical barriers are really kind of
Yeah.
what you rely on.
Yeah, it's really hard to get, and we try with both of our dogs to get them on recall. It's really hard to train. And once you do that, all the things I learned about the training we were doing, because we did training for about 9 weeks with them, and using those controllers.
clickers.
But I thought the controllers made it worse.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
found that those controllers, they were more afraid of it than anything.
right.
So it was better to go back to the food. But he listens if you call him. But if he's in the yard and he's found something,
Distracted,
he's got,
yeah.
you know, he sees a frog or something, and you
Right.
call him, you know, you have to get his attention. But
Remind me what breed he is?
He is a pit bull.
Okay.
yeah, he's a pit bull
Mix.
mix.
Right, right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're hunters first, right? Critter-driven terriers.
Oh yeah, he loves the yard because he finds things out there, and I watch him. But other than that, if he's out there and I say, you know, come, he comes right in, unless he's tuned in on, you know, or like I said, if he sees a mouse and he chases it into the woods or something. But
Right.
other than that, but we don't walk him off leash, either one of them, for a lot of reasons. There's cars, there's other people, there's people on bikes, there's a lot of activity.
Yeah.
And, you know, you don't want them getting out. in
And
the
there's a
world.
lot of people in our neighborhood that bring their dogs and don't have them on leash. They're running all around the
Yeah.
neighborhood, so
Yeah,
we always have them on leash, so. A lot of people don't, they just let them roam around,
Yeah.
so.
Is that difficult for your dogs? I mean, do some of those free roaming dogs come
We have-
running up
we
to
have
your
quite a
dogs?
few in the neighborhood that do come up to the dogs.
Yeah.
Really, I mean-
They don't really, it doesn't faze them anymore because
Yeah.
they're used to it.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
I mean, neither one of my dogs really reacts to it because they are used to it, so, it really, at this point.
There aren't too many people that really walk their dogs off leash there. that I-
No, these dogs always off the
Yeah, but
leash
that's
and-
because her dog gets loose.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to have someone behind us, the dog gets loose, but they're fine.
Yeah, but.
The dog's really
people
friendly, he's
do.
just big.
Yeah. They
Those are
don't-
the toughest ones, actually, right? Because they're big,
It
so
doesn't
you don't
faze them
know.
anymore,
And it's
really.
funny when they try to catch them because they can't.
Mm. And then, so the last restriction was that the dog owner shall maintain the existing insurance coverage policy in effect against any claim, loss, damage, or injury to persons, domestic animals, or property resulting from the acts, whether intentional or unintentional, of the dog.
Yeah, we had an umbrella before that didn't help.
Yeah.
We have homeowners with an umbrella, so that we have to maintain that regardless.
Okay, so that's still in effect.
place.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's a lot
great.
more than 100,000 too.
Yeah. Okay. Do any members of the board want to ask a question of the Topals before we close the hearing and then we deliberate?
Sure. So I understand this, and I think you've come before us saying, you know, your rationale is, or you would like to have this nuisance order removed, or the designation of the nuisance order. And I was just trying to understand, you know, is there some impetus? Is it just, and I think you've said it's kind of, he's 8 years old now, and this has kind of run its course, our dog's well behaved. But are there other implications? I did read about the difference between nuisance and dangerous, and I thought maybe it has some impact on insurance, or are there other factors that are coming into play? Why now, and why have you decided this is the time?
We just felt like it's been almost 4 years and we've had no incidents at all with him, and we just
Yeah, we've had,
didn't want him to be labeled
yeah,
a nuisance
and
when
we didn't
he's
have
not.
yeah, we didn't have any issues before that either. It just happened to be with the two dogs, and I don't know what caused it, because I didn't see it. It was outside of, you know, but that's what I think happened. And but he was no problem before that. I just think it's a stigma. It really is. It's not. I mean, if he was really a nuisance and he got out all the time and he's out in the yard, you know, he's roaming the neighborhood and he's out all the time and he's still getting out, or that's one thing. But there's been zero problems.
And I'm sure if there was other incidents, or if our neighbors did think he was really a nuisance, I'm sure they would have complained, or
Yeah, it
there
was
would-
in the newspaper twice, so they
Yeah.
saw it, and we did.
Yeah.
Some of our friends saw it
There's
as well.
plenty of kids in our neighborhood, we walk him all the time, so I know we just didn't want him to be labeled a nuisance. We just don't really feel like he is, so we just wanted you to hear us out and think about it. That was it, you know. That's what we didn't want our lawyer here making a big deal of it. We just wanted you to hear us out. And just take that into consideration, that was all.
I think when we were talking with council, she said that these orders are more for the owners than they are for the dogs, right? And it seems like you've done all the the right things and done all the things that you're required to do.
Mm-hmm.
Would you intend to keep doing these things, the things that are even prescribed under
Oh,
the nuisance order? Or are there
absolutely.
any particular items that are onerous or you want to not to have to do?
We're like crazy people, we love our dogs, like,
No,
so much, so
there's
we-
nothing, there's
Yeah.
nothing hard about it, you know?
Yeah.
It's like we keep the call right by the door, so it simply comes out, we put the call on, and it goes.
Yeah.
We have a back door that goes out to our yard, and it's right there, so there's nothing that impedes us from any of those things.
So for you, it's really just about the label of,
Yeah.
And maybe it's silly, and we understand, people's fear of, like, maybe with pit bulls and things like that, but he's just such a sweet love bug. We almost were like, can we bring him tonight? But it's really just having that label on him, that's all. So, we are very respectful and understand people's fear of basically any dog, so that's why we leash both of them constantly all the time. But, yeah, that's what we just wanted you to hear, is that we don't plan to change anything. We're planning on doing everything the way we do it now. We're very careful. Our kids are all in their, mid-20s, and we're like, every time they come home and walk them, we're like, be very careful, hold the leash. Like, they're like, come on, Mom. But we just, we want them to be careful with the dogs, that's all. We don't want anything to, that's all. We don't plan on changing the way we do anything with them. So.
Any other questions? Okay, then,
do we, just, I don't know, Ryan or whomever, do we know how many, I don't know if we've ever done this before in terms of contemplated terminating a
Removing,
nuisance
yeah.
order, and do we know how many nuisance orders
We've
are in
done?
town? Yeah,
well,
I don't think we tracked the death of the dogs that have had that.
probably not, but there hasn't been anything
well,
in the
we've,
last.
yeah, because I don't think we had any, according to.
You guys haven't had any, right?
No, but I
think you
mean,
guys-
before Ryan came on board, I don't think we, according
It's
to,
been a long time.
our previous town administrator, he was here how many years? 14?
At least.
He said they'd never had a dog hearing. So we've had
We've had a few.
3 or 4? Yeah.
We've had 3.
And, three of them were described as, we decided they would fall under the nuisance category, and then one was a dangerous dog. And none of those other nuisance.
But to your point, there's not a mechanism. I mean, it would be just our own looking into it with Gene or somebody.
It's not.
Right.
But, I mean, as a dog owner, a lot of us here are dog owners. They age, they change, right? My dog stole chickens when they were that age. Right? They don't go anywhere now.
Careful, David.
Oh, you're the one.
The great chicken mystery is.
Chicken
Yeah.
thief. But they get older and they get calmer. I mean,
Right.
that's, and in a scale that's 7 times faster than us, right? So
Yeah.
you got wild teenagers and you don't.
Yeah, I can
you
give you,
know?
I can give you an example. So when he was younger, he used to pull a lot. He was, now he walks loose leash. My wife walks him, I walk the other one, but he's loose leash. He doesn't pull. He might see something and go see, to see it, but that's how much he's calmed down. Big difference.
Yeah.
It really makes a big difference. He was 2 then, still a puppy, I think, at that age.
Yeah, he's 8.
Now he's 8. So they definitely do change. Both of them did.
Alrighty, so I think I'd like to call for a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Is there a second? Any
Once it's closed, though, they can no longer speak.
Correct.
Correct.
That's fine. We said everything. We appreciate you hearing us out.
Just so you know.
Yes.
That's fine.
All right, no discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Excellent. So now we can deliberate, and the question for us is, do we want to terminate the nuisance dog order entirely, or we could also choose to maintain some portion of it? According to our council, there really is no guidance about this.
Right,
It's
so
up
if
to
you were to
us.
maintain part of it, you wouldn't be releasing an actual nuisance dog
That's correct.
Label,
title, which is,
correct.
I think, according to the topals. So-
Right.
There's, if you remove the nuisance title, you can't put any
Right.
conditions on it.
There's no conditions, but,
Right.
I mean, they seem responsible owners, and I'm fine.
Christine?
I believe in rehabilitation.
Yeah, right.
Restorative justice.
You know, I am
Sort of.
happy to lift the order. You guys are clearly responsible dog owners. It sounds like Dexter's a real sweetie. He just was, you know, under particular circumstances, brought out the worst in him. I have no problem with that. I do have to say, nothing having to do with the topals, but it does feel like that's an interesting statistic that under Tim's 14-year tenure, we had no dog hearings, and now we've had 3. And now we have a dog park. I did ask around. I think there's a more holistic approach that needs to happen, not having to do with this hearing, but just sort of dog policy in general. I did ask around. The community manager at Foss Farm says there's a problem there. I haven't heard of any reports at the dog park, but how long until that happens, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
And I don't
people-
know I don't know what we can do. I'm not, you know, leash law seems to strike a lot of people the wrong way. We can take it up another time, but I always like to think about holistically and what, you know, how do we get after a problem instead of going one by one by one.
But we don't really have a pattern. We had an episodic, I mean, if we want to do an analysis, I would point to COVID. I would point to more rescue dogs coming from the south. I would look at patterns that created a little mini event. I don't know where he came from, but there was a spike of mini events, and Barney and I happened to be on the board during that period.
Okay.
And it didn't happen before, and it hasn't happened since, so.
So you don't think there's a larger cause at play?
You
It's
know,
just
I would look at those macro factors before I made, people are pretty responsible. And I would say one great thing about Carlisle is there is a policy, right? Your dog has to be in control, or maybe that's a.
Under voice
great-
control.
under voice
Dog has to
control.
be under control. And if your dog's under control, you get to run free. And I certainly, personally, we love running in the great open spaces with our dogs off leash. And again, personal anecdote, some of you have heard this, we used a dog trainer, and he was great.
Yeah.
And you know what? It was like an epiphany when we could actually run our dogs without a leash, under control, and it was great.
Yep.
And particularly when we cross-country skiing, because try walking a big dog while you're
Oh,
skiing.
yeah.
But it also makes Carlisle attractive for
Yeah.
other towns and other people to bring their dogs in as well. And
So,
so,
you know, I'm not seeing a lot of that, but yeah, I
oh, the
guess.
bog, like the cranberry
Yeah,
bog.
the bog,
Well,
that's
the
true, yeah.
Foss
Yeah,
Farm
A lot of our public spaces.
manager says there's a problem there.
Oh, yes, well,
Yeah.
he should raise his hand to the select.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay.
And probably a lot of people don't realize, but they can always submit a complaint,
Mhm.
right, to
Right.
our, and it's to our police department. It's,
Right.
we're no longer
I
gonna
mean,
have.
Christine, I think if
dog
you want to explore it further, it'd be useful to get Gene in here and just chat with him. Or
Well,
chat
You know,
with
I-
Gene's no
Seth.
longer,
I called Gene. He
I
said
know,
he's
but
no
he's
longer.
got all the history. right?
Yeah, he said it's the hardest part is enforcement, and I'm like, well, I hear you there. What do you do? You know, so yeah, but as is no longer the animal control officer, he was very hands off. So
yeah.
So moving forward, one thing I can say is we are hiring, or have hired, an animal control officer who has done exclusively animal control in their career and is now going to become a police officer. So it'll be a
Who was that?
dual hat role. Mike Cianci,
The new guy is.
Mark Cianci. So he's going to go to the academy, and we'll add this expertise to the town.
Okay.
We've had previous expertise, but it was much more reactive. This will be more proactive, and it's not a coincidence that the chief does understand that the dog park will add to the animal control need. So the timing is good.
And Scott, did you have?
No, you know, I think for me, it comes back to what council has said, that these orders are more about the owners than the dog. And I think in some sense, it's academic in that it sounds like you've done and have continued to do the things necessary to ensure the safety of your dog, the safety of the neighboring dogs, and of your neighborhood. And that's really, at the end of the day, what these things are designed to do and to reinforce. So I don't see any reason to think that if we remove this order, you're going to suddenly neglect your duties as dog owners. So from that standpoint, I'd be comfortable with that.
And Travis?
I'd share Scott's thoughts on that. I think it does, rely on the owners more than the dogs in many cases. There are occasionally some dogs that do act out, but they're, in general, we evaluate the owners, and if the owners are responsive and, if they immediately are, working to try and solve the problem, I think that speaks volumes for, most residents. So I would be supportive of removing this.
As am I. And we can ditto with what others have said, so unless there's any more discussion, would somebody make a motion, which I believe should be that the motion is to terminate the nuisance dog order issued in November of 2021 to Mara and Joe Topol for their dog Dexter.
I'll move that.
May I have a second?
Second?
Any discussion? No. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, well then it's unanimous. Yeah. And thank you for showing, what a responsible dog owner does.
I've had dogs all my life, it's just, they've all got their own, I don't know, how to add it to their
Personalities,
personality.
Yeah.
You gotta work with them.
You gotta work with it.
That's right.
Keep working.
Everyone on the board have a dog?
I don't.
Yep, I do.
You don't?
I don't.
Have you ever?
3, right now,
Oh,
3.
my wife's allergic, my
My
mom's
mom's
allergic.
allergic.
Oh, okay, so
So-
no dog there. Yeah.
I have a bird.
We haven't had any.
Is there a bird?
Dangerous bird hearings.
I would support that, actually.
All right, well, with that, Scott, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Bonnie.
We officially closed the hearing, right?
Do we have to
Earlier.
Do we have to move that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to move the closing.
Close the
Oh,
hearing.
we,
Well, we did.
Close the hearing.
Yeah, we closed the hearing, so,
great.
yeah, I think we're all set. Thank you for coming in.
Bye-bye.
Sure.
Okay.
So given that we all came out, we can all head home, or I did put liaison reports in there. If anybody had anything they wanted to report out,
Bye.
as kind of a
liaison.
opportunity to report out from your various committees, since there is a lot going on.
There is a lot going on.
Did you want to, Christine, say anything about your
Yeah, well, there's,
charter proposal, or?
right, so the Town Trust Fund Administration Group is fully formed. We had one, yeah, we're just gonna call it the Trust Fund Working Group. I mean, but there's a larger name and then there's a working name.
TFAG, oh dear.
Yeah, there's nothing, yeah, I couldn't find a nice.
Are you, or is it for me?
But, yeah, we have a number of different issues going on. So the, that group is fully formed. I issued a charter, a draft charter, to Scott. Totally welcome and encourage everyone's inputs on those, when it's.
That's going to be on the agenda.
Time,
At
yeah.
our next meeting, it'll be in the packet.
Right, but I'm hoping we can approve the folks who have raised their hands so far. And this group, again, is just to draw out the process, the framework, and then we will hand it over to a future committee to actually administer the funds. I did hear from a townsperson on a separate topic who is experiencing a lot of air traffic noise over their home. Very coincidentally, I also have been. It's really uncanny the way air traffic has picked up since COVID. And it's not just even the private jets. We get major commercial airplanes coming right over us.
Really?
Yeah, and she took a picture of a Southwest flight. It looked like it was right above her garage, and I don't know what the
Really?
what the elevation was. Yeah, so I showed her the app that I use, which is Flight
Flight aware?
24 Flight Tracker 24.
Flight tracker, yeah.
Yeah, and you can actually see how high they're flying and,
So
who
what
it
did you
is
learn
and
from
where it's
that?
going. Well, I look and see what's flying overhead and see if there's been a pattern. And the pattern that I've discerned over the last, 4 years or so is that the airplanes are getting bigger. It's not just the random
privates,
hobbyists
the
coming
privates.
out from with their little beach craft. It's
No, these guys want their jets. That's why they're expanding Hanscom, right?
They're
So you think these are
expanding
not,
Hanscom.
you're saying they're private planes, they're not commercial?
I am seeing more commercial coming over Carlisle.
Boy,
But the real difference here was I did tune into a Hanscom meeting quite some time ago, before I was ever a select board member, just to see what was going on over there. And very coincidentally, the speaker that night was the guy who had stood up this app, and he had a personal history at Hanscom, and he said, part of the statistics that they gather at the Hanscom Ops team is people call in from Concord, people call in from Bedford, and there's nothing from Carlisle. And
Meaning
so.
we're not calling in and complaining?
No one's, they have a very
It's not very
vocal.
Carlisle.
Well, so they're only led to believe that no one from Carlisle is hearing this and they don't care, or they just can't be bothered. I don't know what.
But let's say
but
everybody
there's
called,
no-
are they gonna do anything? I
Yeah,
have no evidence that they're gonna
suppose-
do anything about it.
Okay, well, they take their data, they say,
Sure they do.
Okay.
Sure they do.
yeah. Anyway, so all I was gonna suggest is that we get an official seat at the table for this Hanscom, it's HFAC, what's it called?
And that was formed by mass legislation for the towns that are, Hanscom is geographically located in, so we would
We
need,
can get a seat.
yeah, that's,
right?
So,
there's four.
I
there's
think we
four-
used to have a seat, and in
No.
any event, this woman has raised her hand.
Well, we've had there might have been someone from Carlisle that was on the committee, because the 4-member town select boards, there are additional members that they can appoint, and they don't need to be from those member towns.
Oh, okay.
So, but you would have to petition those 4 select boards to appoint a particular content expert from Carlisle
Okay.
to be on. So, I don't know that's the extent of my knowledge. But it's not, I don't think there's an avenue on that particular committee to have Carlisle become a member town.
Okay.
There's various citizen groups and committees, and we heard from them last year, right?
Well, there's the group,
But that was sorry, go
The
ahead.
Stop Expansion,
yeah,
Yeah, that was the different, right?
SPJE, yeah, different group.
and there were advocates from Carlisle, was it the,
Well, Lana was very
Lana's
involved in it,
Yeah.
Lana
Yeah,
she's
Zamora,
very-
and I
Yeah.
think she's the one that brought it to us, right?
Mhm, Yeah,
Yeah,
because
with
it is,
Travis, I think when you were chair.
now their angle
Yeah.
is more the environment and
Right.
emissions. I mean, the interests are well aligned.
Well, noise is pollution, right?
Noise is pollution.
well, and there was the whole study that was done, and I forget all the names of the reports, that was really not a valid report, and the governor subsequently criticized the report and
Right.
said, you need to go and redo the report,
Right,
and
But what have they done since then, though?
I think they're,
They have
far as
more
I know,
money, as
the-
far as I can tell, right?
the governor
Are
doesn't
they-
have the power to stop
Are they building
anything.
out? Are they building out?
No, not currently, I don't believe so. They had to go back and redo the environmental.
was
I mean,
a
let's separate, so
impact
there's two different
report.
issues here, right?
Yeah.
That issue, blocking the expansion, is its own thing. That's
Yes.
not this, because
Right.
you're talking about airplanes that fly today,
Yeah.
Right.
right?
Yeah,
So-
it's a problem. And, okay, so
Right.
yes, all I would add, what I was suggesting before I thought we used to have a member, and I say that because when I first arrived, the realtor who sold me my house, gave
There's
me a
never
list.
an airplane.
Gave me a
Oh,
list of-
once in a while.
No, gave me a list of David,
I'm sorry.
gave me a list of vacancies in town to volunteer for, and one was this representative to Hanscom. And I was surprised to see, I had no idea. Incidentally, I moved here from West Los Angeles, 3 miles north of LAX. I hear more air traffic now from my patio than I did at LAX. No, I am not kidding. So they route them in a certain way. What we did in LA was you had to be a certain elevation, otherwise you were fined. And these people are not adhering to any sort of elevation rules, and I think it's because none have been imposed on them. So all I would ask is that we have a voice at the table at Hanscom where we are enforcing some sort of noise ordinance. It's very easy to monitor with sensors. We had them all over Westchester. And, airplanes can get fined, and you know what the airplanes are because they're being tracked, obviously, with their ADS-B sensors. So that's all I was going to say on that matter. So if we can get a seat at the Hanscom thing, I would really appreciate it. Board of Health has an opioid effort going on. They want to get some volunteers. These participants would be paid supposedly to get input on how we should use our funds. It's not that we have
The
so many
settlement,
millions.
yeah.
I was a little surprised that these participants would be paid. I take issue with that. In any event, Linda's in the process of putting together a postcard. She's getting printer quotes. And she's going to send that out to all the
Figure out
towns.
how we spend the money.
What's that, Travis?
We're getting consultants to figure out how to spend the money on the.
Yeah,
settlement.
it's not as if we have millions to spend, so I was taking, anyway. And then, let's see,
Aren't we in a pool with other towns for that?
yes, we are, yeah.
For the opioid money?
Yeah.
We have our own allocation of it.
Right.
We did join a regional group for a substance abuse coordinator.
Right.
That's using some of the funds. The funds are ours.
Okay. And lastly, let's see here, library, we've hit 60% construction documents, which was a major milestone. And
In the effort to consolidate projects that you talked about, the 4 different projects, how's that going?
Complete.
Complete, good.
yes, good, thank you, Ryan. And then last, I think we have a full contingent now on the safety committee. Tal Rotman volunteered, does that bring it up to a full 7?
We would need to appoint, yeah, I saw that email, so we
Yeah,
can.
so I think
we can
after that,
Put that on the next
we've
agenda.
got a full deck there, and that's it for me.
Great. Any update on the police station project?
We do have an update.
Okay.
Saw your shovel.
We can also discuss that at the next meeting.
We should discuss it at the next
Okay.
meeting. No, I don't want to be cryptic. So we had a test pit dug for soil contamination. The sniff test, that's what it's called, sniff test, came back positive, meaning no, positive's the wrong word. It came back without any findings.
Negative.
Negative.
So now the soil goes to the lab for testing
Okay.
to make sure.
Okay.
So the biggest fear was that it would come back and it would be so bad that the sniff test would pick it up. So we're hopeful
Okay.
that we're at least moderate to good, but I don't know that for sure yet, which is why I was hesitant to say it.
Great.
Would this be like old Daisy MBTEs and things?
Yes,
And if it's not right, then remediation is needed?
correct, which
Which
would,
has not been budgeted, right?
it
Not
is
been
not, it would
budgeted.
eat heavily into our contingency.
Anything else?
The town doesn't have environmental insurance for things like that?
We knew this was an issue. It's been, they tried, this is my understanding of it, they tried to fix the problem 30 years ago, couldn't, so they just left it alone. And we
Okay.
monitor it, so we have a few wells that monitor it,
Yeah.
which is one of the issues. To dig what we're digging, we have to destroy a couple of the wells, so we're gonna have to put in a couple more wells.
Was that contemplated?
During the project construction,
Yeah, that you'd add a couple of additional wells because you were removing?
it was not.
So more to come.
So more to come, yeah.
There's a public hearing or open house tomorrow night for the demolition review.
Yep, it's here,
bylaw.
right?
It's here.
Yeah.
Yep. So I encourage
Yeah.
folks to attend.
Is that their only contemplated hearing? Or they only
I believe
scheduled
that's the
it?
only one that's currently scheduled. They did one in July, and they had done one in
Maybe
April,
June,
or
or was it?
prior to
April.
previous town meeting. So they've done a
That's
couple of
right.
them. I attended the first one.
I'll be there tomorrow night.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
One of the things that I want to ask about is, you know, the two key aspects of the review bylaw is both the definition of significant structure, which in the draft is very broad and encompasses every structure over 50 years old. Comparing that, and I had asked the question of how does that compare to neighboring towns, and just looking at some other definitions, other towns tend to, I think, in my interpretation, more narrowly define that, and also the 18-month timeline, which when you look at their map is on the long end of town. So the parameters of the current draft are both longer and broader in my layman view than what we see.
I'm just, you know, it's different. We don't have it on the agenda,
Nope, but that's
but, yeah.
for discussion. We'll take questions tomorrow night, so it's a great opportunity to ask. And we can also, in thinking about what Ryan said, maybe we consider adding a small portion of our agenda at the next meeting to discuss this, given the timing.
I mean, we were obligated to, well, we're not obligated, but it makes sense for us to keep it on the warrant, because it's been duly sort of
Yes.
processed. But again, it's incumbent on us to weigh in
Yes.
on our opinion of it, right? And I don't wanna overstate our influence, but will have some weight, what we say, right? So,
Well, and I think in light of special town meeting and MBTA, in this particular bylaw, like, the planning board's input is also very important. And I don't know
right.
how much
How much even
input or
bandwidth
consideration
they
they've given
consider.
that, given everything else they're working on.
Is it, I mean, a planning board, would you consider a planning board issue? It's like a Carlisle character thing, right? There's no, we should talk about it in
I
an
would
agenda.
think in
right?
Carlisle.
Yep.
We should have enough time to really talk about it,
Yeah.
because it's like
Yeah.
a solution in search of a problem. That's what I would say.
Well, if you, just to talk about the other side for a minute, I mean, their presentation showed us some instances where if there'd been a demo delay bylaw, it might have saved, I think it was only 2 particular structures, but allowed them to review it before they were demolished. But
But I think a lot of
it's
people,
worth more discussion.
it's important that they have these hearings and that
Mhm.
hopefully they get good attendance, because I think a lot of people are just becoming aware of this and
Mhm.
will have similar questions.
Well, Mary Lynn, you expect the mosquito to cover that tomorrow, right?
Yes, I won't be there, but somebody.
That would be good. I think, again, this is sort of, I feel like we're in that theater where they break the third wall, whatever, but, I mean, people depend on the mosquito a fair amount for their input to these things, especially as we get closer to the meeting. And I don't think it's on like a lot of people's radar screen.
No.
It's so much about MBTA,
Yep.
and it would be helpful to give it PR value, because people really do need to understand it.
Their presentation from last week's meeting will be in this week's paper.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Good.
All right. Thank you.
So what is now gonna be on the second night of town meeting then? If it's,
The demo delay bylaw.
Fire station.
And the fire station, and then a little warrant about the CPA money for Banta Davis.
mm,
And I think that's it.
That's
okay,
enough.
Got
correct,
pulled.
that's enough? You think
I
that's
mean,
it?
in my opinion,
Right.
first of all, if for some reason we're efficient with MBTA and we get done early, it's a Sunday night, that's great. Get home at 5, right, 4, whatever. The following night, again, it could easily be a 2-hour meeting with just those 2 issues, the fire station and that's plenty
I
on
hope
a
we get a
Monday night
quorum the
following.
second.
Oh, I think we will. I think
Yeah.
these issues will drive a quorum.
Okay,
Well, we'll have to publicize it and communicate it
right,
on Sunday.
Right,
yeah.
yeah.
What if the MBTA bylaw goes into Monday?
Well, I think that's the other side of the coin.
Perish the thought.
But, again, that's why, it's very hard to handicap how long that item in particular will take. But I think that's why I certainly advocated and our committee advocated to keep it as a single issue day
It's-
and say, you're here. Like, you get tired, you go home, fine, but when we vote, if there's 6 people, we're voting.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Like, you leave, you can come back, but if you leave and we vote, then don't cry, because we're voting. And make it very clear.
150.
It's like, what's that new movie that came
That's
out where they
also
all
on the-
march and then the last one standing?
That's also on the
the
agenda
guy-
for the
everybody
next meeting
dies.
to
What's
talk
that new
about
movie?
The logistics of town meeting.
The Long March?
We'll revisit that and have more time to
The
discuss.
Long
Seen
March.
it.
Okay, anything else coming in from the,
No, the MFC's working on, we have funds left over, what do we have, 320,000? Or is it something around there? The leftover for the allocated, but to spend before 2026, and so we're going back to reevaluate capital needs in the town, repairs, thinking that we're gonna start with immediate repairs and the things that are, and we'll rank those and then evaluate it and go from there.
Couple of things. One is, I just think it's great that the Benfield residents now have not only their fobs to get in the front door easily, but also fobs to their apartments. And it's
Great.
completed, and I've only heard from one individual, but the word is that they are just absolutely thrilled and very thankful. It's
I think we had it on our goals to go tour Benfield. I'd love to see these
Yeah,
fobs in
we should.
action.
And how's their septic system, Marnie?
Yeah.
Well, so far, so good.
Okay.
On the septic, yeah. There are other issues around
Yeah.
the interior maintenance, you know,
Sure.
leaks and
Yeah.
heating problems. but
Yeah.
Our Board of Health could be addressing those.
Yeah, we'll get out there at some point,
Yeah.
when we don't have 5 meetings in a month.
Yeah.
This is,
Also, the CPC, we're gonna meet on, we are so dedicated, Friday night, just to get our,
That's a party.
to vote on the warrant that
Wow.
that we need to do, and then hopefully on Tuesday, we'll have an appointment to recommend to fill the at-large member slot on the CPC.
okay, good.
So we're only missing a member to represent the Conservation Commission. And then on the Conservation Commission, have we scheduled a meeting, a meeting with them around the appointment of their open seat?
So it's a little bit different.
Okay,
They're
yeah,
not
tell
elect-
me,
They're not elected, so it's your appointment. So they can certainly be
It's
here
not a joint
joint, but
meeting.
you don't need to have them here.
it's not, okay, and do we have that scheduled on one of our agendas yet?
We were looking at that for the next meeting, however, have
Which
they
is
taken a
Tuesday.
position?
No,
They
So
not,
that's been the limiting factor on our
Right.
end, is
right,
them providing their recommendation to
Right.
us. Because they have multiple candidates, and I know
right,
there was a third candidate that
yeah,
was found, or was.
okay,
So they didn't have enough time to advertise because the candidates came in late. So they didn't discuss it on the 11th.
Okay,
So it'll
and
be
then
their
also
next
we
meeting.
kind of
No, they have
lost
time now.
one of the applications that
Not
did come in on time, so, in terms of CONSCOM, then my response to them should be, get it on your
Get us a
agenda, and as soon as
recommendation.
you do, then we will vote on it when you're
Yeah.
done, when it comes to us.
yeah.
Okay.
How are things going with the LSC? And I saw Sue Pietropalo's request for signage. How do we handle that?
So that's specifically around the Woodward property. And I don't know, you know, they had their meeting tonight, and I went for the first 45 minutes of it. They didn't get to that part on the agenda, so I'm not sure.
Well, the signage was to the safety committee too, right? The no
Yeah.
parking signage.
Yeah,
So that
Oh,
should
that's
go to
true.
the,
Maybe
the
the-
safety committee, and they should essentially make that recommendation, correct? For signage, or do they go ahead and just,
So they exist to advise you.
Yeah.
So
so
we
they'll,
send all things like this to them so that they can bring it
they
back to
can
you.
review it, and they'll give us an advisory, and,
so I wonder if anyone has talked to Sue Pietropalo, so that she understands
It w-
that's the process.
in the email, it was to the traffic, to the
Was it?
safety committee, yeah.
Oh, good,
Yeah.
okay,
I have.
okay,
Yeah.
great,
So
We were copied on it, but it was to the safety committee.
got
we're
it.
very responsive to residents, but just because one resident wants something doesn't mean that we always do it, just because of financial implications, and they have abutters, and people can disagree with them. So
Right.
it's better that it goes to a committee and a public discussion, so that you don't solve a problem but create a new one.
Yes, yeah,
Not saying that's happening here, but,
good to remember.
It's a great public
Yeah.
policy.
Well, we
Yeah.
created the safety committee to, or
Yeah.
reactivated it to really look at these requests and
Yeah,
make recommendations.
your safety committee, they usually handle a resident's issue. It's their pet issue or something they're really concerned about, and typically they have a lot of merit, but you do wanna vet them out
Yeah.
to make sure that it's in the best interest of the town as well,
mm-hmm.
and their butters, et cetera.
Yep.
And the LSC has created a subcommittee to take another look at the Woodward lease and the language, and try to address the issues that have been raised around the use of Woodward now under that lease. So I believe they're meeting Thursday. Is that, yeah, in a couple of days from now.
Is CONSCOM engaging on this? Because I know ultimately they're CONSCOM's subcommittee, LSC.
Yeah, now we've got a
Right.
subcommittee to the subcommittee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like someone just needs to.
well,
Yeah.
yes, I think that in my conversations with the chair of the CONSCOM, he recognizes that they need to have more input from LSC about what they're doing, so their CONSCOM meetings are gonna have a LSC update on every meeting agenda, as a way to kind of keep tabs about what's going on. And I think, our new conservation administrator is on top of this too, which is great. So, we shall see, but I think there's some progress being made around understanding the relationship between the two and also the need to be transparent. I will say one good bit of news tonight that they talked about is that they now have a setup with, that one of our staff here has created for them, which is, so now when you go to their website, you will be able to access, for the LSC, you'll be able to access not just the meeting agenda, but the packet that will go with it. So for the first time tonight, you could go and get all that information as a citizen about what they're discussing and the various backup materials that were provided for the meeting tonight. So I think that's a great thing.
My concern with the LSC is, you know, when I dialed into their meetings before, it's pretty apparent that none of their members have been trained in open meeting law. They openly discuss the emails that the February emails where they made the decision to do such and such, and I'm like, that's not right. Just
Yes.
problem there. And then, you know, they will actively discuss, can we say that? I don't want to put that in the notes. And I don't know, it just very,
Did they attend any of the training that Aubrey had?
they're supposed to certify that they have,
I mean, do we have a requirement?
Both Brian and Suki, chair and vice chair, did attend the
They did,
training.
Okay.
Maybe didn't learn anything.
But it's, I think it's a little bit like being a teacher in training. You get all this information, but, you know, that's why you typically have a mentor teacher, so that as you get into actually trying to do it, you have somebody to guide you. And so I'm not suggesting that I'm playing exactly that role,
Are
but
you-
I
are
am
you-
attending.
You're the liaison or the?
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah, then good,
so
do that.
the current chair and vice chair are trying to be responsible and responsive.
good.
I mean, just the fact that they're asking those questions is good. That means they're paying attention. It's better than just blurting out or whatever.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
If there's no more updates, we can do a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor? Vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.